it's going to be a quick and intense camp, and then we're going to start on the 14th. But like I said, it's going to be exciting. I've been watching practices a little bit in the past week here, and it seems like all the boys are ready to go and excited to get playing again. And I think that the people will be impressed with the level of hockey just based on the pace and practices and how the team's looking.
Okay, next we'll go to Clay Hall. Go ahead, Clay.
Sorry, got unmuted there. Just the importance of the PLD signing and to have it done and ready to go for camp.
Yeah, I said all along through the whole process that I'm not worried at all that he the signing. And last year we signed Zach Werenski 3 days before camp started, and it was the same agent, and they all have their process. We have ours. Restricted free agents without arbitration rights can sometimes take a little time before you can agree. Actually, our negotiations went very smooth. It's just the timetable was what it was, and as long as they don't miss any camp, I'm fine with it. I wasn't worried at all. I wasn't nervous about it, and it got done before the training camp started, and that's the main thing.
How does he reacted to it? Have you spoken face to face?
How does who react to it?
Just what's his reaction been? Have you seen him face to face, and just is he excited about it, getting it done and being back here?
These COVID rules, we can't see anybody face to face until tomorrow.
Okay.
On our testing and our quarantines, but I've spoken to him through the process, and he's a professional, and he's here in time, and that's all that counts.
Thanks.
Okay, next we'll go to Michael A. Race. Go ahead, Arach.
Jarmo, I think fans would be curious to know why it was just a 2-year bridge deal, not even a 3, and why it didn't go long-term with Dubois.
Well, it always takes 2 to agree on a contract. So we had a lot of different options on the table. We had a 2-year, a 3-year, and even an 8-year deal on the table, and they were all good options in our mind. They decided that they wanted to do a 2-year deal, and that was fine with us too. There's a lot of advantages to a bridge deal too, with the player's age and how they progress and where they end up with at the end of the long deal when you're going to make it. So if you're going to do an 8-year deal right out of the entry level from 22 to 30, and then you're going to look at the next contract, which could be an 8-year deal, then you're getting to 38. So those are the things that we take into consideration. Sometimes a bridge deal when you get from 22 to 25, and then potentially get an 8-year deal that takes you to 33 and could be a better option for the team. So we're always looking at different options. We're looking at the bridge. We've done a lot of bridges before. We've done long-term but like I said, it takes two parties to agree at the length of the contract. And this is the one that we agreed on this time.
Next, we'll go to Mark Scheid. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Todd. Hey, Jarmo. Just an update on Gus Nyquist. Is he on schedule, and who do you foresee trying to take his spot in the lineup, an important one?
He's on schedule, and he's progressing well. There's going to be a lot of different guys wanting to take a bigger role and getting the ice time that Gus Nyquist got on our team. I've mentioned the young guys that have to prove themselves and earn the ice time, Texier, Bemstrom, and Foodie, for example. We got Mikhail Grigorenko here, who's going to challenge for ice time. And we got a lot of different guys. We have different guys that can play both center and wing. And, it'll be a good internal competition, and that's all we want.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty. Go ahead and unmute, Porty.
There we go. I did already. It didn't count. Hey, Jarmo, thanks for doing this. How do you handle the Dubois reported change of scenery request? Is this something that is front burner? Is it back burner? Is it not even on your stovetop right now? Do you ignore it? Do you proceed just as you normally would, or how is this factoring into your day-to-day?
we're just concentrating on the team and get to work here, and that's what we do. And the rumors and those they're always out there about players. General managers talk about trades all the time, and sometimes rumors start from there. And as far as I'm concerned, those conversations are always confidential, and they won't go anywhere else. But that's part of the business that we have to accept. I always say this, that Wayne Gretzky was traded, but so anybody can get traded, and that's just part of the business. But we go along and just concentrate on the team here.
Are you concerned at all that if you don't act quickly, that this could become a distraction? I know you've seen other situations like this. It's not the same, but Panarin a couple of years ago, sort of a year-long drama. Do you have any concerns about not acting quickly?
I don't think we had a year-long drama. Our team handled it very well. We have a strong room, strong leadership group, and we dealt with it the way we should deal with it, which is face-to-face and inside the locker room. And that's how we're going to deal with all the issues that we potentially have in our locker room. And that's what leadership's for.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Clay Hall. Go ahead, Clay. Unmute, Clay.
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't realize my hand was up. My fault.
Okay, Michael Arace, go ahead, Roch.
Oh, I didn't have my hand up, did I? Sorry.
You did.
It's down now. Thanks for
Okay.
asking.
Let's try Craig Mers.
Jarmo, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Craig?
What are the plans to have fans at the games this year? And has anything been submitted to the state in terms of protocol to get that to happen?
There are actually other people that are handling that, so that question is not really for me, but obviously we're doing everything we can according to the regulations and rules to get fans back into the building, but safety first, and we're going to have to go by those rules.
Hey, on that, Craig, this is Todd. We just got the league protocols last week, so we're going through that to present to the state when the time is appropriate. So nothing has really changed on that front for us in the immediate term. Next, we'll go to Tom Glitti. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, Jarmo. Just back on Dubois, what is his importance to this team as what you're planning to go forward in the next couple of years, and what do you think is the next level for him from what we've seen so far?
Well, he's grown as a player a lot in the first 3 years here, and I think his best hockey was in the playoffs last year, where he elevated his game to another level, and that's what we expect every game. That's what comes with the role that he plays, is that when you become a player in an important role like he has been as our first line center, you expect him to rise to another level and lead the team every day, and whether it's the practice or the games, and that's the responsibility of the star players in this league, and I think he has a few levels more to get to and go to, and he's a hardworking player. He works hard on the ice and off the ice to become a better player. So we've always spoken highly of his potential, and it comes through hard work.
Next, we'll go to Dave Metzold. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Rock. Happy New Year, Jarmo. Training camp has traditionally been a time when players on the shoulders can really make a move and earn a spot on the roster. How do you expect this shortened camp to impact the players' ability to really make an impact and try and earn a spot?
It's going to be shorter. It's going to be a little bit shorter window because we don't have exhibition games. Obviously, that changes things. But we're going to be watching every practice, every drill, every scrimmage that we have throughout this training camp, and then we're going to make decisions. And once we get into the season, it'll be different there too, because we have the taxi squad. So we have a few more players here that can be called up quickly rather than wondering if Cleveland's on the road or they're at home, and can we get them here on time to the games. Now they're with us pretty much the whole time, at least at home. I'm not sure yet what size of a group we'll travel with, but the 4 to 6 players in the taxi squad expands our options basically for the roster, even though they do have to call up as if they were in the minors, but it can be happening a lot quicker and a lot more smoothly. So there will be a lot of opportunities depending on the play and the health of our team, the roster that the final roster we put together before the regular season game, and there could be a lot of changes. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities. There always is, and this year will be challenging. Hopefully, we'll stay healthy both from COVID and otherwise, and can play with the best group possible available for us every given night. So. But I love the internal competition, and I think there'll be plenty of chances for everybody here to show where they belong in our organization, on our roster, or taxi squad, or Cleveland.
Next, we'll go to Stephen Wino. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Jarmo, I'm curious. You guys obviously have 2 #1 goaltenders. Given the schedule and the number of back-to-backs, how much of an advantage is it for a team like you guys to have 2 goaltenders? And how do you think the schedule kind of affects the entire division race?
I think it's a big advantage. I think they're again, there's great internal competition with those 2 guys. Both are supportive of each other, but both want to play every game basically. But at the same time, the schedule is going to be so tight that I think that it's going to be real good to get a fresh goaltender in every night. And, I think it's really important, especially this year when we're playing back-to-backs and pretty much every other night throughout the whole season. So, I think that was part of the thought process here, and there's a lot of speculation. And can we have 2 goalies that are basically #1 goalies in this league and have proven it last year that they're capable of filling that role? Can we have 2 guys like that this year? Absolutely, and I think it's a big advantage.
Okay, next we'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Jarmo, good to see you again. Obviously, if you look at the numbers a year ago, goal scoring was probably the biggest issue for this team. And I'm sure you've probably been asked this a ton this offseason, but with the moves that you made and the young players maybe gaining experience, do you feel good about this team's ability to improve in that way this year?
Yeah, and I do think we can play better too. And I think that'll improve. There are a lot of guys that didn't have their best years as far as the offensive numbers go. They can get back there. We have young guys who will get better. We have some players from the outside that have come and joined us, like Max Domi, and I mentioned Grigorenko. I think Mikko Koivu can get back to some of the offensive levels that he's seen in his long and very successful career. The Bemstroms and the Texiers and Oliver Bjorkstrands have to get to the next level. Cam Atkinson can show that he can put the puck in the net more than he did last year. We have a lot of players that are very hungry to prove that they can put offensive numbers on the board, and we can be a much better offensive team than we were last year. The team's play is a big factor in that too. The special teams and just the more offensive mindset that I think we'll have this year as a team.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge.
Jarmo, obviously in the past, you've made it very clear that you want guys here who want to be Blue Jackets, who want to be in Columbus. Did you come away from the Pierre-Luc Dubois negotiation with an understanding or a better understanding of how he feels in that way as far as long-term potentially staying here?
Well, I think that's a question for him, not for me. And like I said before, we want players that are proud to be Blue Jackets, proud to represent this organization, the city, and the state, and that doesn't change. But at the same time, when we acquire players' rights, we have them for a certain amount of time, from entry level to 7 years forward, or to the age of 27, and then. We make decisions on where they play, and like I said, Wayne Gretzky's been traded, so anybody can be traded, but we decide where and when and with whom we make that transaction, and we always do it with the Columbus Blue Jackets' best interest in mind and the future.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty.
Hey, Jarmo, sorry if I missed this right at the start. We know about Nyquist's shoulder. I know physicals are going on right now, but do you know of anybody else who's not going to be ready for the start of camp for you?
No.
Okay. And how do you plan to handle the taxi squad? So you've got some prospects who are probably on the cusp of the NHL, but I think would be the kind of players you would also say need to play regularly. You've also got some veterans like Gerby, Goaltending are guys that jump to mind who you know what they are. You know that they can be ready. They know how to play in the National Hockey League. How do you handle that 4 to 6 spot with a bright prospect that's on the cusp? Does he still go back to the AHL, or do you keep a player like that in your taxi squad?
That's a good question. I think that we have to balance it out. We obviously have about 3 weeks before the American League starts. There's a lot to be learned from just NHL practices and the NHL players and how they handle themselves and go through the process of preparing for games and for the regular season. Whether it's at home or on the road, and obviously a little bit different this year with the regulations. But young players need to be playing. They need to be playing because they need that for their development. And like I said, if you're close to making the team, and maybe you should be on taxi squad, but if you're on taxi squad and not playing, maybe you should be playing. So we're going to be monitoring that situation. But as a general answer, I would say that there's not going to be young players that need development on a taxi squad for a long period of time.
Thank you.
We've got time for a couple of more. Let's go to Mike A. Race. Go ahead, Mike.
Jarmo, do you think this team, as presently constructed, can compete for a Stanley Cup?
Yes, absolutely. I've said it after last year that I don't think we're far off. We have to be ready to take the next step. We've been challenged by the Stanley Cup champion in 3 out of the last 4 seasons when we made the playoffs. And on one of them, we lost to Boston Bruins, who went to the 7th game in the finals. And we've shown that we can beat anybody by beating Tampa Bay in the playoffs a year and a half ago now. We have to take the next step, and that's believing in what we are as a team, what we are as individuals. The narrative that we can't score goals or we're just a grinding team, it's not accurate. We have a lot of talent here. We have a great goaltending. We have some of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League. We have great offensive depth. We have some young, talented players. We have some experienced players that have proven themselves. We have leadership. We have a lot of special teams ability here. So I think we have all the ingredients. We have to put it together, believe in ourselves, and take the next step.
Just to follow up, you have some cap space. Is Dubinsky gone on long-term IRR? And if he has, I'm estimating thumbnailing around $10 million or so. Is that accurate? And how do you plan to use that money, or do you?
Well, we're gonna. Brandon Dubinsky won't be able to play, so I know we have some flexibility. The reason why we wanted flexibility is that I think this is going to be a unique season as far as the player movement goes too, and if there's an opportunity to improve our team, we're going to use that flexibility. And I've always said this, that I'm in a very fortunate position because we have an ownership that supports us, and all they want is to win. So, I can't, as a general manager, I can't ask for a better situation. They just want to win and use all our tools in our toolbox to improve our team and reach our ultimate goal.
The last one for Jarmo, we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Porty.
Hey, Jarmo, what do you think is the mood of this club? Every season has a sort of a different attitude, a chip on the shoulder some years, a feeling of disappointment from the previous season. How do you think this club carries itself into this season? What's the optimism here?
Well, everybody I talked to after last season and now moving into this one is that we all know that we're not far away. We just have to be able to take that next step. And like I said, we've made the playoffs 4 years in a row. That's not the ultimate goal. Winning the first round is not the ultimate goal. We want to be the team that 3 teams talk about getting beaten by on their way to the Stanley Cup, and that's the ultimate goal, and that'll never change. But I think there's a lot of confidence within our group that we can take the next step and get there.
Great. Thanks, Sean.